Good day, welcome to Martinez Design. In the continuation of our 4-bedroom bungalow we're working on. So in this tutorial I want to correct something that will affect the roof and the structures. So I'm going to start from the entrance porch. So that is where, so now I've said it before, until you submit your drawing before you can be free from editing, because along the line you might be seeing some error that you are doing and you focus on that to adjust. So now we want to control it. So this supposed to be L shape so that we have a clear defined part. So now when we start, we say you start from there, you draw your line. So that's what you need to do first. Then you delete. So the extra line here, you delete it. Then you click finish. Okay. So the next is to edit the whole slab. So edit this. Then draw this. So make sure you get the idea right. And do that. So in the same position, you do the same thing again. Now you need to adjust this one a bit to go inside, then adjust this to come inside. So then you click finish. Now the major reason for this is that the more the complexity of your building sometimes determine the beauty that we give you. So when we go back now, let us say the way this one will be, we see that it gives us a lot of beauty thing to behold. So now let's go back and say level 1. So we need to follow these two as well. So I'm going to click here and say follow the parts. Okay. So I will align this. So I'm going to do the same thing here. And do the same thing here. Okay. So I will say finish. Then go back to 3D and view the front, so you can imagine. So what we do now is that to make sure that this the roof follow the whole parts. So before we now work on this, but you can still push this without even the roof work. Let us do the roof before we want to work on this particular one. So what we do next, we go back to click on the roof and we say edit in place. So what do we go to do? So we go back to level 1. So from level 1 now, what do? We follow the same principle that guide us to design the roof in first place. That is 600E. So what we do is that we click on line. So when we select line, and then we say offset 600. So just pick out the part at the last edge. So you do what? You do the finishing work from there. So you have introduced two. So what do you do now? You click finish. Say yes, don't attach. Go back to 3D and see the way it's from. Can you see? So it has changed the perspective of it, and everything here has changed as well. So how do you do that everything will meet up? So it's what we want to do, so that you have to understand. The majority people will delete this and start afresh. Don't need that. Just need to adjust the way it is. So first you need to adjust not the footprint. First you need to adjust the entire roof. So you click on the entire roof. Then you say edit footprints. So you come to level 1 or level 3 or whatsoever, and you follow the parts that follow as well. So what do? Just like selecting here, then you click out. Trim this the way you have done with that, and you delete the unwanted lines. So you say finish. So that is the part. So you go back to 3D and see the way it form. Now as it does that, what you just need now is to now follow this one and do what you need is necessary. So you say edit the sketch. So now you go back to site. You're going to do this one from site instead of that place. So you follow through everything individually. So the parts that are still okay are still okay. You still maintain the same angle. It's only the extra parts that you need to work on now. So you select that aspect and call it this. So you say offset of 80, as we have done before. then you start the alternative drawing straight up. Can you see? So you meet up as possible. You just need to follow the proper guides to that drawing. So you do the same thing here too, but later you still want to work on this one by editing it. So we're done with this. So what we do now is that so click here, then draw this one, the total L. Okay, then we close it up. Do the needful here too. So the one that is necessary, the one we delete, the one that are not that are useless. So I think with this now, I think what I'm doing it, nothing more. So you delete this one entirely because they are not following the path to which we are designing anymore. So you click finish. Can you see the shape form? So now how do we now do that? Join this together and to make it follow this. Now the two alternatives is this. If you maintain this, it's going to allow you to touch with this one. So you follow that and make sure that everything is in place. So what you need is to raise this up to a fairly level that is going to be of use. So now let's go back to east elevation. I think that will be the proper part. Okay, let's say west. I think west is the better one because what we want to do here is that okay, I think it's north. Let's go to north. Okay, now we want to maintain this so that we have the same level with this. So what do? Select everything that's in connection with that will definitely be affected. So select this one and select this roof. So what do we do now? We move it and we say move. So from this position now we take it up from here, then we pick it to the last part. So what is it doing? So element will be deleted. You can say okay and see whatever will happen. So what are the elements that will be deleted? The opening, that vertical opening that we used to create the ridge as is gone. So we need to create another one for that purpose. So we work on that one immediately. So what you need to do now, you can just adjust this one and push it up. So you can just like say this and push it up to the level. Okay, so this one will go there. So this one has given you another perspective to what you are designing. So this one is another designing. So what we do next is that we're going to go and work on that one. So I go to sites. So how do you work on this that will not affect this? So it's what we want to do straight up. So now we click on this one now. First we need to cut this one off, but we need to get our ridge cap here before we do that, so that we don't have anything to be doing in the wrong direction. So now we go back and say go to architecture and say cut vertical. So you say for vertical now, then what do? So you start the process the way you are doing it before. Say 80. So from 80 now you create this. From 80 now you create this one. From 80 now you create this. So you good. So now you select, break this one up, and then you will do the needful. Okay, you select this one as well. You make sure that there is no any intersect line or any line that is over loop each other. So that is just for that area. So now what we do next now is to cut this one off so that we maintain that plane references with the line. So before we now adjust this one to meet up the whole level. So let's go. So what we do here is that we select and say select the opening and say edit. So edit you do here is that you cut it off from here. Okay, and you do the same thing here as well. So where it joins together, then you break this into two. So you decide this and you cut it off one after the other, and when you click that, you click and you say finish. So that aspect is gone. So what other aspect do we now need? Now this one, now we need now to focus on it and do the needful. So what we do there is that we have to draw to meet stop. So this one is what we need to work on now. So all we don't need to do is to cut that part. Okay, so what we have done in that area, something is missing. Okay, so what we just need to do is that we should adjust this roof. Yes, we adjust that line. Just adjust. I think that's what we should do, not cut it off. So what we do here, just stick with that, then we adjust the roof entirely to suit that position. So what we do here is click and say edit. So in editing, we just need to stop our drawing here. I think this is where we're supposed to stop. Yes, we need to stop it somewhere here. Then you click finish. So you can now come here and do what you need to do from the opening. Edit sketch. So from here now you can adjust this and say finish. So it will definitely occupy that position straight up. So this one is connected together and everything is flowing. So how do we now do this one that will not have anything to do? So you go back there and edit this one properly. So by editing it, you just like selecting, come to this position and let it be. So if you have it in this way, there are issues that might come up. So all what you need to do is to come to join. So if it gives you that flexibility, you don't need to worry too much again. So you see the joint is connected, everything is cut off. So you do the same thing with any area that is applicable. But one thing that this one gives us is that it shows that there is no proper alignment within this and that. So what we do, we can go back and just use temporary section to connect that together. So you just need to know that joints and fix them up. So click here and say go to view. So the points in which just the two of them join together is what you need to work on, and we'll connect them to the position that they belong to. So but check it on 3D first and see how far the whole thing looks like. So what we do is that there's separation between this one and this one. Can you imagine? So what we need now is to align. If that is possible, just click on save. All we just need to align them together and then align this. Finish. So the joint is clear, and so you can imagine there is no breaking of roof. So everything look like you joined the whole roof together and they form the same personal position. So you can join this one together too if that should be the case for with you. See that we continue, say on join. So because I think the two they are not the same level. So what we just need to do is to align. Align. So if you do that and to go, so just pick some you base on this one. So by the time you are looking at it from the notification, and you see that we have already introduced another angle to it. So you check it from 3D entirely and see more better than the previous one. So you can just adjust this one too. I'm going to do that immediately. So we select and say edit sweep. So edit parts. We go back to the site plan where we have it. Then we draw the L completely. Then we forget about it. Okay. We trim. And this one will be trimming as well. So select this and decide to delete and say finish. So finish as well. So you go back to 3D and see. So if there's anything that you needed again, you need to work on that. So this one will be the next thing to do, but we are going to work on this one first. So which one we work on, then we delete it completely Understand? So you can select this one, or select anyone that you know that is applicable, or you go back to the level 1. Just know the total. Come to say, let me know what is the. It's okay, 24. So you delete. You can go to level 1 and you say create similar thing. So they maintain that position. Then you draw this one like this. Then you draw this one to mentor. So when you look at it from 3D, the way they form the hook, so they form. So just like we've already formed that. So what you do now is that yes, this one is gone and this one will follow too. Good. So the next is you adjust this to go to that. So you adjust this one and just pick it and say move. So you pick it now and you set it up here. Good. So you go back to 3D and see that all those things are working normal level. So adjust this particular front one as well. Click here and say edit in place. Edit in place again and say edit sweep. So this one now you pick as well. So you say pick 3D, then you select the faces. Here you just like do the same thing that you have been doing before. So if it work, fine, so good. So just click this. So what is saying? It's saying that there is more than one loop in this position, so there is something that's confusing. So just say continue. So you make sure you look at it from that area. Why is it more than one loop? What area? So this is the area, and you say finish. Click finish, then you are done with it. So that is how you follow up, and everything now look differently from the previous one that we have done. So you can imagine a complex roof now give a beautiful roof atmosphere, especially this part. You can cut off the inside one if I want to work on it, but now everyone's look at it as a single roof that have what a step down correction. So that's just what I want to say and teach in this particular episode. So the next episode we focus more on our aesthetic, and we'll make sure that we continue to the end of this program, then make sure we publish it as well. So thanks for watching. See you in the next tutorial. God bless.